Hey, so let's talk about the QPRT, a qualified personal residence trust. So a QPRT is a tactic to protect a personal residence and also a vacation home if you got one. So it's a trust that allows you to put a property in the trust, and it can be protected from creditors. So let's see how it works. Here's your trust. Boom. QPRT. Wonderful house. Goes in there, keeps it safe from creditors. So how does it do that? This is a tool that is typically used for reducing estate taxes. Drop my pen. So it's typically a trust used for reducing estate taxes. So say you have a taxable estate and you don't want to pay the government any taxes when you die. So one way to reduce the size of your estate is to take out a personal residence or vacation home out of the value of your estate. And that can typically lower a pretty good chunk of your estate down, and the asset passes to whoever you decide without those estate taxes attached to them. And if you're doing that, you also get the benefit of the asset protection. Now, what if you were just concerned about asset protection and you weren't so much worried about the estate taxes? You can use this device as a way to protect the assets. So how it works is this house goes into the trust. So the owner of the home puts the home into the trust, and then the owner reserves a period of time to continue to live in the home. And after that period of time, the home will go to whoever else you've decided gets the home after that 10-year period. So this is how the asset protection exists, right? So this is a gift to this person, and typically if there's no fraudulent transfer issues, then a court will respect that gift to this third person, and creditors, the original owner of the home, can't access the home. Now, what a creditor could access is this period of years in which the person lives in the home. So theoretically, a creditor could take that 10-year period and, rent it out to someone else to be a dick. But that's not a lot of value for a creditor. They're probably not going to do that. If you're doing a QPRT for asset protection, what you could do instead of doing this 10-year period is do a longer period, say maybe based on your life expectancy, right? Does that make sense? So maybe you're 35 and you've got 40 years left according to science. So you could say, this house is going in this trust for the next 40 years. I reserve the right to live in this home. And at the end of the 40 years, the home is going to my kids, right? They're going to love you for that. And during that 40-year period, that home is going to be protected. So you might be wondering, 40 years is a long time to stay in a home. Maybe I'm going to move. Maybe there's going to be a new hot suburb that I want to go out to. Maybe I want to move to a different state where it doesn't rain so much or where the sun doesn't shine so much. So during this term of years, this 40-year period, you are free to sell the home and replace it with a different home. Same thing, protection applies to the new home. If you bought a cheaper home and there was some leftover money, basically that leftover money would turn into like an annuity for you. So some sort of amount would be calculated and paid out to you. And those annuities are typically protected as well. So if you really wanted to spice things up, since the creditor could, in theory, take that right to live in the home for 40 years from you, you could then assign that interest that you have to some other entity. I don't know, maybe an LLC, maybe a Nevis multi-form foundation, maybe an asset protection trust, maybe a prep trust, right? So you can do that. So then you don't have that interest just sitting there, easy to grab from you. So that's QPRT, Qualified Personal Residence Trust. You want to protect your home, so you put your home in a trust. You say after a certain number of years, the home is going to go to my kid or whoever else I want down here. During that 40-year right to live in the home, you could assign it to some other entity, so it can't just be taken from you. If you sell the home during this term of years, you can buy a new home that goes in the trust. And there's something else. So after that, say you live past 75 thanks to science, you still want to live in the home. You don't want to get kicked out. You can reserve the right to live in the home. This home, you can't pay rent, or there's these other things you could do where it turns into like a reverse QPRT and you're not paying rent, something like that. But you got 40 years before you got to worry about that. So you can use a QPRT to protect your personal residence and your vacation home. How about that?